Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner Daily Technical Update. It is Wednesday the 7th of May and this is an educational video. There is no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is for educational purposes only to demonstrate how I read the charts using technical analysis. And today we'll start with Novo Nordisk that announced earnings pre-markets that were a mixed bag, but what they did, they issued a little bit of a profit warning, or it adjusted their expectations down a bit for the year. But maybe it wasn't as bad as the market has feared, and as we can also see that the share price has dropped about 60% since its peak here in June last year, and we dropped you can see how much it dropped from about more than 1,033 and down to below 400. Actually, the lowest here was 380, spot on. So where are we in the bigger scheme? Well, you can see here it opened today where it closed yesterday. What it needs to do, it needs to close above 462, then it will have established a bullish trend, but it needs to be confirmed with RSI closing above 60 threshold. As you can see here, the strength indicator, it needs to close above 60, then we have a confirmed bullish trend that can take it higher towards 550. So let's see, on the weekly chart we actually had this bullish candle here on the 22nd of April, that week with the 22nd of April, so last week of April basically, kind of could be the bottom and reversal pattern. So for now it seems like fairly optimistic on the reception of the earnings. Looking at the US market, yesterday was down a bit. As you can see here, it got rejected a couple of days ago, 5,695. So it needs to take that out to the upside, and RSI also rejected a 60 threshold. So still risk of setback, and also the 55 moving average tracking it lower. We have the 100 also giving a push, and we are below the 200. So it will be a struggle to push much higher, at least on the short term here. And pre-market though, we are up about 0.7%, so there is maybe a chance tonight, and I can't remember which companies are reporting pre-market and which did the aftermarket. Anyway, we have Nasdaq 100 down almost 0.9% last night, very close to the support here at 19,571. If it starts sliding below that, when we have the next one here at 19,011 and close below that, then we are back in bearish trends. However, pre-market we are up a bit, so it will maybe try to push towards the resistance at 20,322. The Dow Jones Index down about 1%, still hasn't closed this gap area here, but maybe we'll try again tonight. We can see that pre-market at least it's trying to push a little bit, bouncing a little bit, but it really needs to take out the spike up there. In Asian session, and Hang Seng that opened significantly higher this early morning, but it closed only about 0.6% higher, and it tested the 55 moving average to the from the other side, and the 61.8 retracement here at 22,730. Also RSI testing the 60 threshold, so the next few days could be crucial. Will it be rejected? Will Hang Seng drop lower? And that was not a very bullish candle, you can say that, so it really needs to take out that and close above, and RSI needs to close above 60 threshold to really establish or continuing the bullish move. In Europe, the EUROSTOXX 50 got hit yesterday, and DAX even more, but let's get to that in a minute. And we can see here that it is struggling to get up above the cloud. It is above the resistance here, which is not that strong, 5,229, but also RSI rejected at 60 threshold, so that will be key the next few days to see whether that will play out. Can it close above or will be rejected? If a EUROSTOXX 50 slides back below 5,105, well, downtrend could resume. And here we can see the CFD basically just a little bit, about a 0.25% up. DAX got hit hard last night, yesterday during the session when the first election in the German parliament, the Bundestag, where Chancellor Merz was rejected or lost the election, but he won the second one, and then he is now a chancellor in Germany. So a little bit more calm, so markets reacted and closed not that bad. And here this morning we are opening more or less unchanged. I think we will see a bit of a correction here in the next few days, but we are in a bullish trend, and we could push to new all-time highs. And here we can see the CFD/D future is also a little bit, compared to last night, a little bit higher. FX market has been fairly calm. I mean, euro dollar seems to bounce from this just above this support area here. I think we will resume uptrend towards previous highs here, 115.70 and higher. We are in a bullish trend as long as we stay above 112.40. Sterling dollar, the core range bound here between 132.30 and 134.35, 40 level here. We need a breakout, and I think it will be to the upside, but let's see, it could also be a bigger correction. Euro sterling yesterday tested 84.60 support, dipping below the 61.8 retracement. If it takes out the lows from yesterday, then expect a push down to 84 area. Really not much to report on the dollar yen. It is very close to test the support and 61.8 retracement here at 142.19, 141.98, so around 142. If it closes below that level, well, then downtrend has resumed, but bouncing a little bit. So keep an eye on that level for dollar yen to push lower. The euro yen, well, still in this range bound behavior here, but as we can see, all the moving averages are now starting to point higher. The 55, the 100 and the 200 turning around slowly, so we should see euro yen higher, but it will take a little bit of time for sure. The Aussie yen that got rejected here, the falling trend line and the 786 retracement, 93.67. Well, I think it needs to close above both, and RSI needs to close above 60 threshold for a push towards 95.75 and 97.5, where there's some strong resistance, and we also have the 200 moving average coming down. If it can't do that, if it's still being rejected, sliding lower and push below 90 spot 59, well, downtrend has resumed, and if RSI can't close above 60 threshold, then downtrend could resume. So key to watch. Sterling yen, well, support here at 189.90. If it takes out that, then there's room down to 187.5. To the upside, it needs to take out that spike up there at 183.75. If it does that, well, then we're looking at 195, 196. Aussie dollar slowly crawling higher towards 65.5, 65.70. Positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating we are going to see it up there. Dollar Canada is still trading in this falling wedge-like pattern here, and hasn't broken out. It did break out, but it needs to close above. And if it breaks out to the bullish side, the 139.05 is the key resistance. If it takes out that, well, then we'll look at 140, 140 and a quarter, and that could be a bit of a struggle where we also have the 200 moving average. But just a spike up here is not enough. What I will also do, the indication that if it takes out this level there at 138.65, I always add a little bit, well, then I think it will also test at 139. RSI is showing divergence. We can see it's slightly crawling higher, these values there, indicating we are in an exhaustive trend, and I think we will see at least short-term a counter reaction towards 140, and then a downtrend could resume. Sterling Canada, not much to report really, still in range bound here between 183.15, and could try to push higher. I will remove this one because I think it's kind of obsolete now, but it could push towards 186, but it will be a little bit of a struggle. Swiss franc, well, Euro Swiss has bounced from the 61.8 retracement and dipped just to the 93 level, and it's bouncing now. So what we can do here, we can see, okay, how much will it bounce? Well, it could bounce to 61.8 retracement and 93.90, possibly up to the 786 retracement and 94.15 if it takes out the lows here at 92.98. Then downtrend will resume, and it will probably also mean that RSI closes back below 40 threshold, confirming a downtrend. Dollar Swiss, still the same picture really. Needs to break above and close above 83.35, but if it takes out the lows here from the past few days, and this is where, if you're really short-term trader, you could say, okay, what if it takes out 81.98, where there seems to be a minor support, but the big one will be the low here at 81.23, 81.20, I would say. If it takes out that, downtrend is likely to resume, and if RSI closes back below 40 threshold, well, then a downtrend is resuming. The dollar index, more or less the same picture here, 98.68 support, that is key. If it takes out that close below, well, then lower levels are in play. If it needs to close this gap here for upside potential, and 100 spot 32 is a key resistance. Gold has been on the move after bouncing. Actually bounced from the 50% retracement of this uptrend here. It didn't get all the way down to 3,165, and it bounced strongly, and it went straight to the 786 retracement at 3,436, as we were more or less spot on there, 3,435. A little bit of a setback. If it takes out the peak from yesterday, well, then expect a new all-time high towards 3,600. The silver, well, lacking a little bit, but also had a fairly good day yesterday. But it did close above the cloud, but RSI still a negative sentiment. Didn't close above 60 threshold. That would be key. But I think if it takes out the peak here from this morning, and especially takes out 33.70 here, well, then bullish trend towards 35. Copper can't really make up its mind, can't get away from this 55 moving average here. Still negative sentiment on the RSI, so I think it will be depressed for a bit. 450 and 496, it's a big range for now, without clear direction. So I mean, the moving averages are all rising, but the RSI is still negative, so that is a little bit of it's a muddy picture really. So I will stay on the sideline for this one for a while if it was me. Crude oil keeps bouncing, and I think it will test, and let's just zoom in a little bit. I think it will test the resistance here at 60.46, and possibly spike up to 61.8 at 61.26. Excuse me. Brent crude oil, same picture, resistance at 63.79, but could move all the way up to 61.8 at 64.78. European gas also in bouncing mode. I think we will see it test the 38.2 retracement of this leg down here at 35.80. Possibly a little bit lower. We could also just say it starts up here actually, so then we're talking about 36.16. If it takes out the lows here, well, then we're looking at 30 and possibly lower. The US nat gas got rejected at the 100 moving average and the 61.8 retracement is 372, and is now being set back. Support here at 3.25. 10-year US Treasury yields, a little bit of setback yesterday, so 443 is still the next resistance. 55 moving average declining, so it's tucked in here between 411, 412 and 443. We have the 100 moving average here kind of putting a lid on it, and the 200 here, so a little bit indecisive. And if we're looking at the weekly, can we give a clue here? Not really, no. So very indecisive at the moment, so be cautious if you're trading yields. There's no clear picture. I mean, we are in a downtrend. We had lower high compared to this one. We had lower low compared to this one. So we are actually in a bearish trend and possibly a lower high there. So will it slide lower and take out this low, and then we will see a 4% being tested. The 2-year, well, it bounced strongly, but it's also all moving averages are declining. The RSI is pushing lower in negative sentiment, indicating likely lower levels. So it looks to me that we will see lower yields. Moving on to the European yields, we have the EU 10-year, and we have, first of all, we have this Fibonacci that I measured up to here, and let me just move this. You can see the 38.2 retracement is a 263. But if we take at this from this move here, because this is a bit of a noise that it did, then we have reached 38.2 at 254 around this little spike up here. I think there's still potential a little bit higher to 260, but if it takes out the lows here at 243, then we are looking at 235. The UK 10-year, well, got rejected at a 38.2 retracement at 456, a little bit of setback, so that's the range down to 240, that should 241, that should be observed. That's the range. If it takes out this spike up yesterday, then I expect a push to 465. Finally, cryptos and Bitcoin. This morning is testing the previous little peak there at 97,948.5, but so 950. If it takes it out, well, then I think we'll see a test of 100,000. That would be key, and then you will see headlines all over the place. But if it takes out, and I will actually adjust this a little bit and say if it takes out 92,830, 829, then we could see a push down to around 90,000. Ethereum, really boring, just trading sideways. There's no interest at the moment, so it's just dancing around. So I want to see a move either way. So it's really a tight range, to be honest. What we can do, we can say, okay, if it takes out 1875, then we're looking at 2100, and if we are taking out the lows here at 1723, 1720, well, then we could see a sliding back to 1500. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again later.